darlings, and welcome to ATL by Night Blood Bonding. I have here with me Dustin, who plays Cyrus, who is a little more fuzzy than he was last time he was on the show, and I have our wonderful storyteller Ellie. No, it's the beard. It's the beard's a little longer.
Oh,
that's what
I was like, I'm not the fuzzy one. Everybody else is fuzzy. I'm
reference.
not fuzzy.
And we are here for Blood Bonding. As a reminder, we've got 2 seasons of content to go through. We will be going through season 6 and 7. So if you haven't seen those yet, go back to our YouTube and watch that to catch up so that you don't get spoiled, unless you want spoilers, in which case, I guess, hang out and get spoiled on all the good juicy bits. Don't forget to check out atlbynight.net for our Lost Child or Play Guide. I'm really good at talking tonight. Go to patreon.com/atlbynight if you'd like to join our play-by-post Discord. We've got some big announcements coming and a couple that have already been made. And for links like those to our sponsors, like Varia and Volante. Varius and Volante. One day I'll pronounce it right. Marius and Volante, check out our link tree, which should be popping up in chat momentarily. Hello. How is everyone tonight?
I'm great.
That's awesome.
Happy to be back. It's been a hot
I know, right? It's so exciting. Yeah, like what, 2 seasons?
Maybe more. My last time was season 3.
Oh, so
4
almost
seasons.
3. Yeah.
Yep. So
how hungry was Cyrus when he got out of torpor? Like, are we talking ate a whole kindred heart? Are we talking like ate a liver, got really into like intestines for a week?
I mean, look, he you know, he's an organvore, so he'll munch on a few things, but yeah, there it is. There it is.
Intestines are the organivore form of fruit roll-ups.
It is.
Fruit by the foot. Fruit by the foot. Sorry, I mixed them up.
That's the spaghetti, you know?
Exactly. You were muted, yeah. Sorry. You were you're muted for the spaghetti intestines. Spaghetti intestines? Spaghettestins?
Spaghettestins? I don't know.
Spaghettestine.
There it is. That's it.
So we've got the Muppet out. We know what Ellie's Muppet Sona looks like. Dustin, what is your, not Cyrus's, what does your Muppet Sona look like?
Oh man, that is such a hard question that I am not ready for. My Muppet, I'm a squirrel. There's like I'm a Muppet squirrel.
Like the ones like the ones in Muppet Christmas, not Muppet Christmas Island. What are words? Muppet Christmas,
Treasure Island.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
Oh, Christmas Carol. Were there squirrels?
There we go.
I
think my audio is fixed now.
Wasn't there like the poverty squirrel mom character in Christmas Carol?
Oh, I don't
know. I feel like I would
I know. They were mice, I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was all rats and mice.
I'm mixing up my rodents.
But it's cool, you know what? We're gonna.
This is why I'm not a rodentologist.
Rodentologist.
A rodentologist. There it is.
Yeah, a rodentologist. You know, a person who studies rodents.
I feel like I have to have the Muppet with me.
There were.
I think she's
squirrels that appeared with the Swedish Chef.
Oh, nice.
But that's
if our editing team can get licensing and clips for that we can.
No. Oh, but yeah, so what I was saying while I was muted was like there's so much that Cyrus and Dustin bring to the show that you were gone for so long that I forgot how wonderful everything you bring to the show is, and then you came back and I was like, this is it. This is it. This is what I missed.
Yeah, it was fun to come back and not be so dark and brooding and have a little bit of range.
It was so good. It's because
you're to set Puppet Ellie off to the
you're
side.
not dark and brooding in real life, so is it nice to kind of get that more goofy side out? playing.
It is,
Cyrus.
and it's fun to do it in still a like dry, no emotion, doesn't understand context type. It's still really fun to have that bit of coyness, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's fun to be more lighthearted. I get to smile now, even if it is creepy. It's still fun to do.
You get to have a little bit more fun now, and then it's fun for me as the storyteller to like play Catherine, because the relationship that Cyrus has with Catherine is very unique in terms of a Diablerist and their victim.
Oh yeah.
Like you rarely see them become like actual besties up in that skull, and that is just very fun to play out the nuance of like things like asking Catherine who he should shoot. Like, oh, it was so good when you asked. Like, it was really it made me very happy to be playing the puppet in that moment, because I was like, ah, like.
I loved the puppet reveal too, because spoiler for our audience, I knew about this literally last year. I've known about this for so long.
I've been planning this for a year.
It's so good. Can we take a moment to talk about the Muppet intro, the puppet?
Yes. Absolutely.
Because that was a work of art.
But the best part about it, if I remember correctly, and I might not, so correct me on this, Ellie, it was all shot and edited the day before that episode, because it hadn't been done yet.
Well, it was, I was like, oh, it'd be funny if the puppet was the opening intro. And then like the day before I was like, no, we should really do it. And filmed that whole thing in the studio. Zach made the ATL by Night Sesame Street logo.
It's so good.
It was so funny.
The drink, the Diablerie straw, like that broke me. Like that was it.
That's actually my wife's straw.
I look over with the monitor in studio, and I look over and I see that and I lose it. I'm like, I gotta be serious in like 30 seconds. I can't right now.
Yeah, just full on corpsing at the table in the middle of the reactions. I wish we'd had a second camera just on everyone's reactions to it, because it was so good.
My wife had ordered she found an Etsy seller that makes crazy straws, and it'll say whatever you want under like a certain amount of characters. So she ordered one that says Diablerie and one that says Oblivion. And she was like, Oblivion's for when I'm drinking like a dark cola. And it's so funny, and I'm like, I kind of want to have Lucas back as Alejandro and give him the Oblivion straw.
Yes. When can we make that happen?
Whenever Lucas wants to come back, he is so welcome.
I mean, Alejandro's a Primogen now, which actually is one of the bigger things. Like, Alejandro's a Primogen, Lydia's had, and I believe the wording was, all the bad taken out. Which is
that moral quandary.
Such a sentence.
I like that though. Like I like the moral questioning of cult deprogramming, because like in real life we can all agree that like people who escape from a cult deserve to go through the deprogramming process so that they can have their life back. But it's not pretty. It's not pretty. It is a painful process for many people. For many people, the deprogramming itself is trauma, because you have to realize all the bad shit that happened to you. And so it's like being able to go through that conversation in terms of Vampire was very nice, because it was just it was nice to have that commentary of like cult deprogramming is necessary. It gives people their original selves back, but it's not great.
It is a messy process. Talking about leaving a cult, like I don't think that the last time you were on Blood Bonding, Dustin, this had already happened to Cyrus. Cyrus is no longer Banu Hakim.
He's not. He is Atif.
Yeah.
He was clanless.
How did, that's a major change. Did that sort of combined with Katie being in his head and combined with being in torpor for so long, has he made like plans of revenge? Has he got an idea of what he'd like to do?
Oh, he doesn't have any plans to do anything right now. His psychosis is so broken. I mean, it literally, Katie could tell him to stab this person walking down the street and he would do it. Like, he has almost no free will at this point because he's so lost in his psychosis of being in torpor for years, or a year, or however months, however long he was in torpor, with a Malkavian, a low generation Malkavian. And I mean, he just is, he does not view her as the Catherine that he Diablerized. He views her as someone completely different. And in his mind, he is that person no matter what. And so it is
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
It's
is trauma bonding in the most literal sense of it.
Yep.
And for Catherine, it's he killed me, but he's also all I have now. Like,
yeah.
Yep. And it's that, like, I cannot wait for the scene where Cyrus meets Tilly again for the first time.
Yeah.
I think all of us can wait. I don't know what's going to happen in that scene.
I don't either, but I can't wait.
I roughly know how Tilly will respond initially, but I have no idea how that conversation is going to go. Because I try to, in moments like that, when I need to SPC a character, I try to completely remove all my storyteller motivations out of it. Because I don't want to be like, well, I need to get Cyrus to this point by the end of the conversation. It's more like, okay, I know Tilly's emotions going into it. We're just going to roleplay this and see what happens. I, as the storyteller, will figure it the fuck out when it's over.
Yeah. That's something that I very much appreciate about your storytelling ability, is that there's always a goal, but in the moment of a scene, it's not about the goal necessarily. It's about trying to organically play that moment. Which, both of you, I don't know, Dustin, if you got to watch the Death House episodes.
The Frankenstein episodes.
Nope.
Oh, you missed it. It's some good stuff. It's some good stuff.
I deliberately did not watch any episodes of while Cyrus was in torpor. For the sheer fact that I wanted to come in with no meta knowledge of what happened.
That's what I did with D4. Yep. I didn't watch I love D4, but I didn't watch it for 2 months when I knew I was coming up, because I didn't want to know anything coming into the scene.
Yeah. And that's fair. I know that you and Ellie, you and I have talked about this, how I did that with a character in our home game.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So then I guess this is just for you, Ellie. When the players were trapped in the Death House, did you think they'd survive?
No. Straight up, no. Because it's one of those wonderful and terrifying moments when you're like, okay, I have set up this absolutely horrible death house, but there is a way out, and that way out is over here. And then your players go everywhere but that direction. And it's like, my God, please just go over there. Just go over there.
It's the escape room all over again.
Yeah. Oh God, at the escape room. It was very interesting from a storyteller perspective, because I, up until that point, have not really put the players in such a narrow margin of victory before. Mm-hmm. I try and at least give everyone 2 or 3 ways out, just so, there's creative choices. But this was meant to be the whole Halloween arc and based on a lot of horror movies. So I wanted the margin of victory to be much more narrow. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, my gears are turning that entire episode. Like, I don't know if it's noticeable, like, whenever they're debating about what what they're doing, like I'm just kind of like staring off into the middle distance because I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? How do they get out of this? What am I gonna do? Because I also knew that the 18-wheeler was waiting outside for them. And it was like, they're gonna get hit by a truck when they leave this building. I just hope they get out of the building. Like, I hope they get out of the building with more than one health. I hope they don't get killed by the 18-wheeler. And I'm like,
zombies.
Yeah. And it was just interesting. It was very interesting because Vampire doesn't really get to have much true combat in it. So running combat in it is always really fun for me.
That's fair. Yeah, vampires aren't made to survive a lot of physical combat with each other.
Well, that was my favorite ruling was when they got hit by the truck and they're like, oh, I'm going to absorb that damage. I go, okay, you're absorbing the damage from the truck. You're about to bounce down this road about 5 times. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you are taking damage for this part. So it was that like combo damage, and then like the fights
combo.
And then like
a combo breaker.
The fights with the Anarchs in the next season, I just told I told the Anarchs, like, do whatever y'all want. Do your worst. If they don't survive it, they don't survive it. But we're kind of at the equivalent where it feels like everyone is level 20, to use D&D terms. So it's like, I'm just telling the NPCs and things, like, don't pull any punches.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, and I think, and I don't know if this is spoiling anything, I think from a mechanical perspective, you've given them 15 XP at the end of each season, right?
Yes, they take 10 at the half and 10 at the end.
Oh, 20 XP each season. I thought it was less. Yeah, that's a lot. 20 XP is a lot to, yeah.
Well, and we did that because we take 2 months off. So It's not really all that interesting if you come back to a show after 2 months and people still haven't really leveled up.
That's true.
So yeah, I've given them a lot to kind of keep the show interesting, but it's also been 8 seasons. So if you take 8 seasons times 20, that's how much XP they've gotten. It's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So, speaking of things changing and a lot of stuff happening, Dustin, I don't know if you got a chance to see the episode where there's a fairy court in town now. Do you have any experience with Changeling?
I have experience with Changeling. I love Changeling.
Yeah.
I have a satyr brewmaster that I played for years that I absolutely adore and love and would love to play again.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yep. And
the storyteller will make a note of that.
Yep. I love Changeling. It's one of my favorite World of Darkness games. And I enjoyed a lot. Changeling and Demon are my 2 absolute favorite World of Darkness games.
Good to know.
Yep.
Well, and we did have the episode where we referenced Demon.
Yeah.
Friend of ours that's a wrestler, Trevor Aon. We have him in the show as a demon.
Yeah, I had 2 of my favorite outside of Cyrus World of Darkness characters. Is I have a satyr that I played in a pretty long term Changeling game, and then we played a World of Darkness game where it was basically all of World of Darkness combined into one. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I played a demon who was 100% more fallen angel than he was actual demon, and we had a hunter in the game, and I 100% corrupted him and made him believe that I was an angel. Oh, it was so good. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, I think I think it's okay to hint at now that for fans of Changeling, we have things in planning. Because we did announce that we're going to be doing ATL by Moonlight this fall.
Yep.
With our amazing werewolf cast.
Oh my god.
So excited.
Cast.
Can't wait.
So excited about that cast. And they're so wholesome. Every time there's
Jesse Jurda, KP, Dylan,
Super Dylan, Autumn Ivy, and Norden Ali.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped. I love their chat so much. Every time I open it to like let them know something, they're just all so wholesome and so sweet, and I know they're gonna come into this game and be like absolute fucking batshit.
I'm excited. It's gonna be great. It's a hell of a cast.
But I will say, if you're a fan of all the other WAD splats, we have things in the works that I can't fully announce yet, but they're in the works.
So with that in mind, and knowing that Dustin is familiar with Changeling, are there any types of Changeling you would particularly like to see on ATL by Night, or any type of Changeling stories you'd like Cyrus to play in?
Ooh, I don't know about Cyrus just because he's in the grand scheme of things, I mean, he is a cinnamon roll when it comes to like knowledge of what is going on. I mean, I'm sure he could have had contracts to kill other various World of Darkness beings, not just vampires. It's
head empty, no thoughts, only guns.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole, bred to kill, literally molded to be a killer. So he doesn't really have a lot of personality when it comes to that. It's which has been a lot of fun to portray in the new Cyrus of basically learning emotions again and remembering emotions. It's been a lot of fun. But as far as me, anytime, I mean, I love the she so much, and anytime that I can just watch an interaction between a she and any of the coterie is going to be just so fun, because I'm sure Anton is going to fuck himself at some point by saying the wrong thing to a she. I love you, Zach.
One character definitely did end up in a heartbreaking moment. I won't spoil it for you.
I mean, it's gonna be a thing the second Cyrus sees.
What is it? They're called memory eaters.
I can't remember the exact term. But Hex had the entirety of her being taken away, because she gave her human name.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Yep. Is that right? Is that right?
Yep.
I might know a little something about that from D4.
Yeah. It was she's only hexadecimal now. Everything that was Alethea is gone.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I personally, I love the in Changeling and the lore of the fairy and of, even going back to like Tuatha De Danann and things like that. Like, I am a huge Celtic mythology lore nut.
So you're a Dresden Files fan, right?
I'm a Dresden Files fan, and I'm a huge Iron Druid Chronicles fan. If you've never read the Iron Druid Chronicles,
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
Highly recommend it. If you like the Dresden Files, then you will love Iron Druid Chronicles as well. It delves heavily into Tuatha De Danann, and yes, I love anything related to that, as a player. So anytime that there is Fae involved, is just plays really close to my heart, and I enjoy it very much.
Well, and hopefully, if I can talk to the guy that he's based on, we'll have the Duke of the Fae Court involved at some point, because the current Duke is based on the Monkey King of Chinese mythos. He's a
so you've got a line direct to the Monkey King.
Look, he's as real of a Monkey King as it gets. He's a wonderful guy from a lot of our indie film circles, and he loves the Monkey King. And when I was coming up with the Fae Court Duke, I was like, what if I just let him be the Monkey King?
What if I just make him it?
Yeah, and so it's been really fun playing, because a thing about Pukas is they always have to lie or have some kind of shit going on. So he has a fake British accent that satisfies his need to lie to everyone. He's just a Chinese man with this fake British accent, and that is some shit that the guy he's based on would do.
I love it.
So we sort of talked about how Cyrus has changed a lot. He sees the world as Muppets, and I think that you mentioned there are occasional flashes of it not being Muppets, right? Or is that
people like Mark? It's only the Kindred Society that's Muppet.
Oh, all Kindred are Muppets.
Yep.
That should be a shirt.
All Kindred are Muppets.
Which gives Cyrus, and I haven't gotten to finish writing the lore sheet for it, because it is a lore sheet that's going to be in the new ATL by Night book.
I think this is the first time we've officially announced.
Yes, it's a lore sheet called Puppet Master, that is written specifically for Cyrus, but it allows the person who takes the lore sheet, you take the negatives that come with it, but when you see Kindred as Muppets, it's like being on the set of the Muppets, where you can see the person controlling them underneath. So you can see like Frank Oz, doing Rolf. So you can see someone's sire or who they have a blood bond to. So
that's weird and interesting.
So when Cyrus looks at someone kind of through the floor of their Muppet, he can see whoever controls them.
Oh, that's neat.
Which will be interestingly visually if Cyrus sees Gordon and Diesel at the same time, because Gordon is Diesel's sire. So you're just going to see like Gordon here and Gordon under Diesel.
Underneath Soul.
I hate you. But
it's only 1% ethanol.
But yeah, so it's going to be a whole lore sheet based on Cyrus, of all the fun powers Cyrus gets now, because Cyrus gets the full 5 dots in the lore sheet for being gone for so long. Catherine would have slowly built all this in him.
Being that fucked up.
It's like, what is it? There's that syndrome people get when they're like stuck in a cave for a month or something.
Yeah.
That one, horrifying, absolutely horrifying. Or maybe what's the butterfly syndrome, where like you can't move? Locked in syndrome. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
So if Cyrus sees everything as puppets, does Tilly see everything as paintings?
Yes.
How? But what art movement?
Tilly lore drop. Have you ever seen the movie that got made of people painting in Vincent van Gogh style?
Yes.
It's the movie. That's how she sees the world.
Oh, that would be overstimulating.
Yep.
That would be a lot.
That's why Tilly is very very shy, very uncomfortable, very worried all the time, but the world is brilliant colors to her. Like, Tilly actually loves the world.
The contrast of, because she can't see the daylight world anymore. Does she paint a lot of like daylight?
All Starry Nights.
Starry Nights.
I mean,
I just realized what you said. It literally took me that long to process that sentence.
Tilly just turns on like live streams, like VODs of like a sunset live stream, and just paints it.
It's just, she finds like the archives of the TikTok lives of just like birds.
That's it.
Tilly found Shrimp Rave on TikTok and she doesn't know what to do with it.
Oh my god.
I love Shrimp Rave so much. I have an unabashed love for that TikTok channel.
I have no idea what that is, but
so it's a
I don't have TikTok, so that's why
it's literally just someone live streaming their shrimp while rave music plays and lights flash.
That's it.
Good.
I
Cool.
love it. I love it too much. I love Shrimp Rave. So this is an interesting question, especially with the changes. Do you, Dustin, feel like Cyrus could achieve Golconda?
I mean, at this point, anything's possible. I think at the end of the season, we hinted at a possible meeting between him and Amanda again. And there's no telling what's going to come from that. How he's going to handle that situation again in his new current headspace.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
seeing as how she is kindred now, and she's gonna be a Muppet, and he'll get to see who is her sire.
Yeah,
what does Lauren Obo look like as a Muppet?
We'll leave that for Lauren to describe.
But yeah, Cyrus is gonna immediately see who turned her.
Yep.
I just thought of that. Fuck.
Yep.
Yep.
It's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Speaking of seeing who turned her, because I believe it was a Banu Hakim that turned her, right?
We said pretty blatantly that it was Amon.
Okay, yeah. I thought we had. I was trying to remember if it was specific.
Rip Amon.
He
was a great villain while he lasted.
I mean, he might still be, depending on how it went.
So that,
look,
no joke.
Did you see a body? I'm just saying.
Yes.
TV rules.
So that is actually one of my favorite things that occurred over these last 2 seasons, because it was a genuine surprise to me as a storyteller. When I got that message from Leona, and she says to me, "I'm thinking of giving Amon to the SI." And I was like, "What?" "What?" She was like,
sorry, what?
She was like, "Yeah, I think it'd be good." And I was like, "That does sound like something she'd do." And I was like, I love when my players come to me with shit like that, because I'm just like, oh, this is going to have so many repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
So much shit is going to happen because of this. And,
yeah.
In the domino of effects, giving Amon is what led to Josiah agreeing to get embraced. And I can't say why, but those 2 things are directly linked.
I hate that sentence a lot.
They're directly linked. And it's just like, oh God, I love when players do that shit. When players just come up with ideas where you're just like, this ruins everything I have and I love it. Like,
in the best way possible.
Yeah.
It ruins my plans.
Yep. But
spectacularly.
It's so good because it's not the fact that, yes, Amon is dead and he is the one who turned her, but Cyrus is the reason why she is turned.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to be interesting to see how he reacts to that, because, he won't realize that until that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. I can't say how it'll play out, because I won't know until the moment.
I want to, if I can, fly in Lauren for that game. I feel like it would just be too good. Like, I need y'all sitting at the same table.
Look, we brought tears before. Just wait until round 2.
Yeah. Let's make everyone at the table cry.
Yes.
I mean,
I'll bring my player's tears mug.
Yes.
Player's tears mug?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's my DM mug I have on D4. It's D4 on one side, it says Player's Tears on the other.
We filled it this past Sunday.
Yeah, you did. It's overflowing.
So, given everything that happened, like what we just talked about with Amon, Cyrus, and Amanda, are you planning to bring more Banu Hakim to Atlanta? I mean, it sounds like bait. That's all I'm saying. DM brain goes, that's bait.
I will say, Season 8 is going to deal with the 10th anniversary of the Renashri Camarilla in Atlanta.
They're gonna be princes.
So I have a lot of things lined up to happen.
Are there any notable princes that you can tell us about now, or any princes that you know about, Dustin, from lore that you might want to see?
Oh, I'm just along for the ride.
You can still have once.
There will not be any canon princes coming in. I really like how much we ride side saddle to canon, or sidecar to canon. So the
we're it's a woman-led show, so side saddle works.
But I have some ideas for guests, and I want to give them the opportunity to create their own kind of prince.
Ooh.
I want to be like, pick a city that you want to be from that doesn't currently have a prince in canon that is like V5 canon, Because if it's V20, fuck it, you took over at some point. I don't care. But I want to let them create their own kind of prints so that I have absolutely no clue what I'm getting into with them coming.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to say that if I had any like want, it would be anything that connects us more to the multiverse that is the family of other shows. I love that connection threads that make little tie-ins to other shows and things like that, like like with Mark Mear's Sire from Stitched by Fate, things like that just really help just thread in that overarching narrative that we are in the same universe. I personally love that.
I love that too.
Yeah.
We do a lot of it in D4 and with other shows, and I love that aspect. So seeing any prints come in that is canon in another stream would just be super fun and cool, and just to experience that. And just give that little bit of a nod to the family in itself.
That would be really cool. I do. That would be neat. Be very neat.
I think it'd be super fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's some of the guest stars I'm looking at. I haven't started the big planning of that because I'm interested where the players want to start the season, because I know about where we need to end. I tend to really only plan a season for where we should be at by the halfway and where we should be by the end. Just to kind of keep us on track, since we are like only 8 episodes. Shopping episodes are great, but not when you have only 8. So
that's the slogan.
Yeah.
Shopping episodes are great, but not when you only have 8.
Exactly. For some reason, the meter's not great, but we can workshop that. We can workshop the meter. We can start alighting things. The encounter with Gordon, Diesel, and the twins marks the first appearance of on-screen anarchs in town. Has being shown that anarch viewpoint changed Cyrus in any way, or changed his opinion of Kindred Society?
I mean, Cyrus has always been independent. I mean, he's always been highest bidder. So, I mean, it doesn't matter to him. He doesn't care about the Camarilla. He doesn't care about the anarchs. To him, I mean, now he it's hard to say what he cares about, because I just don't know. He's still discovering who he is now. But pre-Torpor Cyrus, he only cared about the next contract, and it didn't matter who it was, what it was. It was, it was all about who is the next one to be looked at through the scope.
And now he's got a full-on comedian set up with shooting smiley faces into concrete.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, he has a personality now. It's great.
Do you as a player have a direction you'd like it to go in?
Nope.
Fair.
I am so go with the flow. Whatever tells the best story.
I think
that is fair.
I think that's what is so indicative both in ATL and D4 that Dustin and I are DMs and STs, is every time Dustin's come to me with like, what do you think about this, or what do you want to do? I'm like, I got like 2 things I want to do. Whatever else works. And Dustin's the same with me, because we're both used to like, okay, I know you have a story you want to do. I'm along for it. Whatever gets us there, I want to do it.
Yep.
And it makes it a very interesting thing to do from both sides, like both in being your player and being your ST. It's like there is a very interesting level of understanding there.
Yeah.
Well, and also y'all have known each other even well before this for years, right?
Almost 10 years now. Next year will be 10 years.
Happy friend anniversary.
Woo!
Do we have like a Facebook compilation we can show?
I know, we'll have to go to Ren Fair next year just to.
Yeah. Oh God.
Exclamation point. The yeah.
Oh wow.
bring vampires. Well, because we've announced the cast. Cyrus, I believe, has been to the Ren Fair as well and
used to work there.
Used to work there.
I think used to. I don't know if she still does. That's personal information for her. But
that's fair. I was like, but just take some vampires to Cyrus and in Rennie garb. So I don't remember the context of this question, if I'm being quite honest. I've had it written down for a very long time. What was the deeper meaning of the choice to use Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans?
Oh, the movie.
I believe you.
That's
I
a
wrote this
question for
down
Ellie.
so long ago that I do not remember why I wrote it down.
Actually, since
I
we're
feel like it was the Elijah arc.
yes, it's the movie for Elijah, or no, Elijah and Delphine. Hold on. I am actually pulling up my notes so I can read exactly why I wrote it, because I wanted to leave a lot of things, like a lot of their past and the things that would reference them. So there were some clues that didn't get found, which would have made Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans more relevant.
What were some of the clues that didn't get found?
I'm about to say, because there were 3 clues. One was Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans. It's also known as Sunrise, but it's from 1927. It's a silent romantic film directed by German director F.W. Murnau. It was his American film debut. But it was, it actually won the Academy Award for Unique and Artistic Picture at the first Academy Awards in 1929.
Oh.
And so that movie is where they went on a date. And then the next clue was going to be a postcard from the location of the last sunrise that Delphine saw. And then the next one was going to be a piece of stationery from the construction company that was building the building that Elijah was turned in.
Ooh.
So it was Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans, and the next 2 clues were referencing the last time they were human.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Was it like I do not know how long ago I wrote that question down. I looked at it when I was trying to compile my questions for this episode, and I'm like, I don't remember what this means.
Probably wrote it in season 6.
Right. Sometimes I prepare.
But yeah, so it wasn't exactly a threat so much as it was kind of a, like, because Victor had Elijah, it was a way of being like, hey, remember the last time you were human? Because I'm trying to create that. So come get your boy.
So much. Victor, honey, therapy's cheaper.
Can confirm. The Victor arc was very poignant in hindsight.
Oof. Yeah.
But I like that whole arc was very fun for me, just getting to do a whole bunch of horror movie references.
Did you have a favorite?
Yes. It was Saw. The finale being Saw was, I was so excited. I was like in the car with Ian at one point and I was like, I can't tell you why, just like I'm gonna be thinking out loud, ignore it. Just ignore it. Because I'm saying like, okay, so she's gonna have to dig out those parts and put them in there to unleash this. He's gonna have to put the hook in his body and go up. And he's like, what are you writing? Like, don't worry about it.
Shh, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
He wasn't even there for Empire Ballet.
Right. But yeah, like the Saw episode was so much fun, and telling everyone like for the finale, like, hey, dress like a horror movie antagonist, because we're doing it in honor of Victor Frankenstein right now, and everyone's outfits were so choice. Tyler so showing good. Up as Norman Bates, I ascended.
So
but that was my favorite. It was really fun. The Pet Cemetery episode, which is the Death House, was really good. There was almost an Evil Dead like section of the Death House episode, but they didn't get to it.
The basement where they start looking at different artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so good. So Dustin, if Cyrus were, you've mentioned he's shriftless, and the best candidate for a cult is someone without direction in their life. If Cyrus were to join a kindred cult, which one do you think he would go for?
Oh God.
Oh, I got a nice little lead up in that one.
I know which one I think he'd be very interesting in.
I don't know. You tell me that one. Which one do you think he'll be most interesting in?
I think he'd be very interesting in the Bahari.
Oh, ow. That one. Yep. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because that one is the most stab and twist one. So in the heart. So yeah, it would definitely be that one.
Also, I think that's the one Katie would draw him to.
Then yeah, that would
for
be
a lot of motivation.
That's 100% what he would do then.
Oh God! Now I'm thinking about him diablerizing his children, like embracing and diablerizing Childer, and just like Kali Ma, like rip out their heart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that one hurts. I'd love to watch it.
I always have a soft spot in my heart for the Bali, but I feel like with what Cyrus went through in the Banu Hakim, he would not join the Bali because it would seem like more of the same.
Yeah.
Like, oh, jump in this pit and find the heart that's full of your sire's blood so that you can survive. I don't think he'd do that.
That is. Does Sire even have blood? How would he even?
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a long thing that's too long for blood bonding.
Yeah.
We can go 2 hours, right? So what, and both of you can answer this, what would you say your favorite moment of character growth has been through these 2 seasons for any player?
Dustin?
I mean, it's hard for me because I don't know. I mean, other than Cyrus's character growth, I don't know the other players' character growths because
it's like when you have an only child, that's your favorite child.
Yeah, just because I haven't watched where, I mean, I would have to say from what I've experienced in the few episodes that I've been back on and how I've seen people or interacted with people, I would say, I mean, yeah, the first one that comes to mind is just Mel's character growth. Is probably the one that stands out the most to me.
That's true. She's gone through a lot.
And it's mainly because both her and Cyrus were in the same room and they didn't kill each other, so that's pretty good character growth.
That's true. That was a marked improvement.
A marked improvement? Hey.
But I mean, aside from Cyrus's own personal character growth, I think that would be my one that I would say, and that's just again in just the little bit of interactions that I've had with the other cast, because I mean, Cyrus has had this like 2 interactions with Jackson. The first one being the one shot or the
Christmas episode,
the Christmas special.
When he showed up covered in blood.
Yep. And then this past one, so he didn't really have a good, like, he had no idea that he was even in this body. I didn't fucking have any clue any of that stuff. Like, so it was, it's, and to him, Anton scene's the same, no change. It's pretty much the exact same. He remembered, and I mean, same with Tommy. Like, he doesn't know what Thomasina has been through.
Yeah, he doesn't know about the doppelgangers.
He has no idea about any of that.
Did we ever find out what Cyrus's femori was filled with?
Yes, we did. It was lightning bugs.
Yep, that's right. That's right. For sad reasons.
Yep. That's what we do.
I'm going to be kind of cheap on my answer.
Oh, go for it.
Lydia.
Me. Oh.
Lydia well, it's two, and they're connected, but Lydia and Dot. Because when I made them, they were always Lydia was always meant to be an antagonist, and Dot was always meant to be an anti-hero.
Yeah.
But Lydia, I can't remember if it got said. I don't think it's a spoiler to say it. Lydia chose the naughty chair. Lydia chose it for Alejandro.
It did not get. I don't think it's been said yet. So
I think she's alluded to it when talking to Sybil. But when her and Alejandro had that dinner and he told her about Sybil and she saw, like, that got through the Sabat programming a little bit, that she saw a family with Alejandro that she always wanted. So she elected to get Vasana scented. Because I was...
That at least makes it a little less oof. A little less oof.
Well, so, interestingly enough, before the episode where Alejandro left for the dinner...
yes.
I had Sybil's player roll and tell me what number she got, and that number determined what the outcome of that dinner was going to be.
I thought it was the cell phone thing.
No,
the red phone or the blue phone?
Yeah, that was it. It was the red phone or the blue phone. And the one that she chose was the one that Lydia would choose to be with Alejandro and go through Vasanacenta to be with him.
Do you want to talk about what the other option was?
The other option was Alejandro goes Sabat and tells no one.
Go Sabat, tell no one.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Yeah. I liked that character growth for Lydia because you rarely see people that walk out of the Sabat, because the life outside of the Sabat is actually better than what the Sabat promises them. And, you know, in that conversation, like, they were both victims of everything that happened, and just realizing, like, everything she had been fed about Alejandro was lies. She has the truth right in front of her. Like, and they're in Elysium, so she can't fight back, so she has to listen. And just that character...
But she doesn't have to listen. She just has to not fight him.
Yeah. But that character growth was very fun to do, because I didn't expect her to go that way. But then by the time we got to that point, and the way Alejandro was changing from how Sybil changed him, it made it very interesting. And then I just loved everything with Dot.
Not Dot.
Not Dot now.
What's this?
Because the thing, I love that everyone, the entire show, has assumed that Dot is evil and Dot is a villain. No, Dot's Humanity 3. Like, that's the kind of person you get with Humanity 3.
Well, she's
like,
Humanity
look, as someone who has played someone with Humanity 1, yeah.
Yeah. It was very, she did what she thought was right, and fuck you if you didn't agree. And the last show of that was taking the fall for her childer as a thank you for everything that her childer has done for her. And I've hinted to the players, and I'll never tell them for sure. They're going to have to figure it out if they want. Or the viewers themselves. There are actual differences when I play Dot and when I play not Dot.
And we've talked about them, and yep. I appreciate them so much.
Yep, there are actual differences to the voice, there's differences to the mannerisms, there's differences to the appearance.
And it's funny, because I think early, like season 2 or something, there was one moment where I messaged you and I was like, hey, is your throat dry? Like, Dot sounds a little weird tonight. Like, I think that happened, where I was like, Dot sounds a little funny. Is your throat dry? Like, are you remembering to hydrate?
I fucking love it.
And
so good.
That's been my secret in my back pocket. And I actually mourned Dot when she died.
It was a sad, like that whole
that is the most attached to an NPC I've been. And people forget that STs and DMs and everything, when you play an NPC for long enough, or an NPC is a big enough part of your arc, you mourn them as well.
And confirm.
Yeah, I know you can. But yeah,
or
like,
when you have plans for them and like
when I have to rip up Catherine's character sheet because she got Diablerized in the first episode she was in.
Look, but look where it led us.
She was supposed to be a confidant for you guys, like, forever.
I don't know what you're talking about. She's been a confidant for me this entire time.
But yeah, like, I definitely mourned Dot. It was very sad for me to say goodbye to her, and I know that people think I didn't really say goodbye to her because I'm playing not Dot now, but it's not the same. It's absolutely not.
It's not even the same individual.
Yeah, they're very different people. They just have the same outcome of behavior. So what other people see is not that different. But for the people that they are, it's very different. So I'm very sad to say goodbye to Dot. And not Dot, it's gonna feel like my substitute teacher. You know, where it's like, you're fun, but you're not my teacher.
It's fun, but yeah, not the same.
Dot just putting on a movie for the class. Napping at the desk.
Oh, not Dot's like my middle school teacher. All right, you all passed your test. We're just going to watch Clash of the Titans today.
Again. For the 5th time this year. Oh, the number of times I saw Shrek. I don't know why it was Shrek that my school had. Like, it must have been the only VHS, because it was back when those like rolling TV carts still only had VHS players.
But when that rolling TV cart came in, you were like, fuck yes, I am napping today.
I need Alpha to do that to the Shepherds just once. Just like, all right, we're going to talk about a few things. Rolls out the TV cart. Just watch his presentation real quick.
It's just that ad from the Captain America film where Captain America sits down in the chair.
So you're having a bad day.
It's going to be interesting too to see, because we've had 7 seasons at this point, will be 8, of this cast forming their relationships with all the NPCs and what those relationships mean and what forms they take. It's going to be very interesting to see what those relationships look like with the new coterie.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Like, are they just gonna bond with Not Dot immediately, never suspect her? Like, are they gonna clash with Tilly? Are they going to have a lot of respect for Proctor and nobody's gonna get sucker punched by her? Like,
Proctor has earned that respect.
Oh yeah,
so many times over.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I can't wait for Cyrus to meet them.
I can't wait for Cyrus to meet them. I can't wait for them to meet Cyrus. I'm excited to see.
And also, they have no history with Cyrus, so they're just gonna meet this weird, like, because that's something I think that Ian and I talked about on the Ian and Tyler blood bonding.
I think it was
Ian and Leona.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, where he sees Cyrus as a problem.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, this is the best ever.
He's back and he's smiling. and Jax is just like, he's back. This is not the guy you told me about, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be super interesting, because already with the characters that they're sending me, holy shit.
Oh, I've gotten to see a few glimpses of that, and I'm just
I know about one of them, and boy howdy.
I'm curious which one you know about.
The one I have most contact with.
Oh yeah. Oh god, planning that character. That player just came over to my house. I was sewing for the Bridgerton event, and we're just sewing, talking through this character, and we just kept getting so excited. We're just be like, oh, and what if? Like, it was so much fun. And I will say, throughout season 8, you will get to meet them one at a time. So you will get to meet you, the audience, will get to meet the new cast in their own special way.
I'm excited.
Me too.
I can't wait.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. I'm so excited for them. I'm excited to see what they do with the world that the Shepherds built. Because, you know, they're coming in completely fresh, and I'm so excited to see what they do with it.
I realize, Dustin, you have a much shorter list to choose from. But for both of you, did you have a favorite moment from another player in the last 2 seasons? For you, I think it's 3 to 4 episodes worth of content, but did you have a favorite moment during those from another player?
I am trying to remember what happened.
Okay, so there was Gordon Diesel, the twins. There was, I think you were on set when Aaron and Sybil met Victor.
Nope,
you weren't on that one.
I have never played with Sybil.
We should rectify that. That would be interesting.
Cyrus has never met Sybil. So there was so much that happened around the episodes that I was in. I don't know if anything was there was nothing really
that made enough of an impression.
Yeah, I mean, anything with the Anarchs was just a lot of fun.
I know you were running around a lot during that time.
Yeah, I think I only was in 2 episodes.
Yeah, you were in in the Muppet episode with April Fools, and then you were in the
first Anarch.
Yeah, the first Anarch episode.
Yeah. So, of those 2 episodes, nothing really stood out as a favorite moment, and I have not watched anything else since then.
To keep the meta knowledge out.
Yeah, but I mean, anything with the Anarchs was just a lot of fun watching them, the twins, and just watching them kind of come into their own into the city was a lot of fun. But I mean, yeah, it's such a it's been such a getting into Cyrus's headspace. I've literally tunneled visioned out everyone else, but how I'm gonna see the world as Muppets. So
such a delicious character.
It's been fuzzy, but we tend to keep going.
It's been fuzzy.
It's really important to thread the needle on things like that, so that you don't
swear to God.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think he's really felt things.
That's the title of that episode is Pain Must Be Felt.
Oh, of course.
I would say it's really going into the cloth of his makeup.
I swear to God. My favorite moment, 100%, is literally just
through the camera.
Everything with Gordon and Diesel.
Oh my God!
Because
KP and
Brian play off each other so well, and the thing is, when they were. So one of the reasons that Brian's character is named Diesel is if you play Vampire the Eternal Struggle, the card game, there is a card of an Anarch named Octane, who is Brian Gropner. And we actually have one of those cards signed, hidden on the set behind the players. But so when we asked Brian to be on, he kept making the joke, he is the legally distinct brother of Octane, Diesel. And so when they found out that they were sire and childer, Brian literally said, with no realization of current media, because they were both pirates, so he planned them mentally and maybe throughout history that they're actually Blackbeard and Steed Bonnet.
That's right, and this was early in Our Flag Means Death fandom.
Yeah, and he had no idea. I was like, there's a show right now with that, and he was like, what?
Little different vibe.
Yeah, but he said he was going
I mean, not far.
Yeah, he had never even heard of the show. But he had planned it that way, and I think that comes off so perfectly between the two of them.
Their on table chemistry for having. I don't think they'd never played together before.
No,
they literally met that day.
Yep, they were they met that day when KP came to the studio, and we had like a group chat together, where Brian is the funniest person I've ever known. Just randomly coming in because he's the Reeve of Gordon's Barony, and just being like, all Reeve, no sleeves, Diesel in the house. I'm like, I love you, Brian.
There were so many moments that I wish we'd had on camera.
But yeah, so I think any scene between the two of them, just because when they set that notion that they were Blackbeard and Stede Bonnet, like, it comes through so much in the performance of that kind of bond, because Our Flag Means Death is not historical. They went the historical route, of just like that weird kind of like parental connection, but like not exactly the best parental connection.
The fun dad.
Yeah, the fun dad that lets you eat ice cream even though you haven't had vegetables for 3 weeks. You know, like,
you go there for summer vacation and you end up with scurvy.
Yeah. So I just, like, I loved the whole episode with them, because it was just the bond that they were able to create after knowing each other for a grand total of 2 hours. Just spoke so highly of them as players and performers. It was an honor to watch.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think that might be all we have time for. So that was a really good moment to end up on. We had a few pieces of announcements come out. The ATL by Night book got announced. We are hinting at a Changeling game and maybe other WAD splats. Don't forget to check out the atlbynight.net website for our Lost Childhood Play Guide, and go to patreon.com/atlbynight for our Patreon, where you can join our play-by-post server, as well as other links like those to our sponsors and more ATL by Night content. Check out our link tree, which is in chat. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Stay safe out there. Stay hydrated. There's a heat wave, and we love having you here. Join us for more in the future. Good night.